is a Bramble Jam podcast. Wow. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of DCOM Descendants.
DCOM Descendants.
We're just a few DCOM Descendants.
Sweet life over here.
Sweet life of
108.
No, the Disney Channel show.
And Twinkle.
Steve and Twinkle. Zach and Cody.
Zach and Cody. That's it. That's the one.
And this is a very exciting time to be a DCOM Descendant because
Why?
this past weekend, the newest Descendants movie came out.
They're still making those, huh?
Hey.
But they changed the name. It's not a DCOM anymore.
It's not a DCOM.
It's just a Disney original. It's a dumb.
It's
a dumb. Yeah, that's right.
We've done this.
We've done this.
What a
We've done
mess.
this bit.
That's
What
right.
a mess
And
that
if we
is.
get to 300 reviews, we'll keep covering them.
No, we're for sure watching this one when we get there because if we're going to watch 3 Descendant movies are DCOMs, we have to watch the 4th one.
Well, we're up
Okay.
to 110. We're up
Yeah,
to
we got
110
one
reviews,
review
which
in.
is great.
And we only need to get to 114 to watch all of them.
What's that review say, Dano?
It says
I have it in front of me. I'm sorry. I thought you had it.
something.
It's from Mac L. Wright. It says, fun time. Even though there is a similar podcast with an actual cheetah girl, I still choose to listen to this one. These movies.
What is a cheetah girl?
That's
What's
the one with
Will
Sabrina Bryan and
Friedle?
Will Friedle.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
These movies are my childhood, and I love reliving them through you goobers.
Oh, thanks. We love having you with us.
We love having you with us, and shout out to that other show, though. I'm sure they're doing great things.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, I've listened to
I've
some.
not listened,
haven't
but
either.
it seems like it's going well for them. I mean, do we have a higher rating overall? I mean, yeah, we do. But
Do
I mean,
we really?
It's not a competition.
Do we really?
Yeah.
We don't have more reviews, though.
No, we don't have but a higher rating with fewer reviews, almost more impressive if you think about it. Yeah, they are at 4.7. We're at 4.9.
Ooh, how many reviews do they have, though?
333.
Oh,
Hey, that's not bad.
And if we have that many, we're covering more. Yeah, 4.7.
That's
That's
exciting.
a quality score for Magical Rewind. And I'm sure it's a quality podcast.
Quality podcast.
Here we are.
Shout
Sans
out.
Cheetah Girls.
We're
Maybe we should do it. Should we do a crossover pod with them?
Dude, I would.
Us?
Sign me up.
Those folks. That'd be
I love
fun.
Sabrina Bryan.
You know what else I love, Aaron?
What?
Food. And I love eating food while watching movies, and I especially love it when my food is themed. That's why we have this
I
segment.
do-
It's called
Delish.
Delish.
For DCOM.
Aaron, today
DCOM, yes.
we are reviewing.
So it's Delish Conchat's overtime
DCOM.
making the list. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Dude, did we do that on purpose?
No, it's just
Unbelievable.
happened.
Stumbled into it. Aaron, this week we are reviewing Motocrossed, a
Yeah, we
movie
are.
about
Motocrossed.
a girl
A girl.
who rides motorbikes.
She does. It's at the time a male-driven sport.
And I see
I think there
here.
might be a woman or two now.
Yeah. Still
I
probably
see.
male-driven.
I see here now that we have cookies.
Yeah, we do.
So tell us about how these here cookies
Yeah.
tie into
Of course.
motocross.
I'm sure there's a direct tie-in.
There is. Let me take you on a journey with these cookies.
Sure. Look at them. They look like cookies.
They do.
Cookies. So what happened here was the night before we watched them, we have a friend of the pod and a friend of mine in real life, Langley. She watched the movie and was sending me some screenshots and just reminding me of how awful the dad was in this movie.
Yeah, he is special, man.
So there was just a lot of misogyny going on, and I just kept thinking about the one phrase that we kept joking about was F the patriarchy. And that obviously
Were these F the patriarchy cookies?
Sure. And so obviously when I kept repeating that phrase, I thought of the song All Too Well 10-minute version, Taylor's version, because there's a line, F the patriarchy, in that song. And so what I made for you were Taylor Swift's famous chai spice sugar cookies, which are going to be F the patriarchy.
You made us a Taylor Swift cookie
I did.
for motocross.
Wait, what are they?
Patriarchy. They're chai spice sugar cookies.
I'm scared.
Yeah, me too. Chai or Thai? Which?
Chai.
Okay. Okay.
It's Thai food.
It's
All right, let's do it.
Let's
Let's
delish.
Delish, everybody. F the patriarchy.
It's not bad. It's good.
Yeah.
Kind of tastes like gingerbread.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little gingerbread.
You were good. Yeah.
Which I'm not upset about. It's Christmas in July after
Right.
all.
Now, the way that Taylor would prefer to make these cookies is to have eggnog in the icing.
Whoa.
But we just don't. We didn't have that. It's July.
Does she make these for the holiday season?
Mm-hmm.
Holiday season?
Yeah, you're gonna go back to an age of Tumblr.
I know
Taylor was
Tumblr.
really
Yeah.
big on Tumblr. She talked about these a lot. So I went and found like a Reddit thread talking about these cookies, the recipe, and somebody was like, "Yeah, I went and checked Tumblr, and this was her icing recipe." So just a real big throwback. F the patriarchy. Thank you,
Yeah.
Taylor.
I mean, I guess there is a through line there, but, seemed like more of a Taylor Swift cookie.
Listen, when I think of F the patriarchy, I am thinking of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
The lead in this movie is
Not
blonde,
Yeah.
and so is Taylor
There's
Swift.
also
Let me know.
there's also a fun tie-in of like the whole movie. There is a lot of NSYNC talk,
Yes.
and I just think that for NSYNC at the time, Taylor Swift is like that level of fame like now. So Taylor Swift, we can't get NSYNC tickets yet.
If that doesn't tell a story, I don't know what will.
So thanks for coming on this little
We're
journey.
gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back.
And that's D for DCOM.
That's right.
That's
We're gonna
right.
come back with the
We haven't even
C
talked about
part
the
of it.
movie yet. We're taking a
the
break
com
already?
chat. Did you know that this is a? We'll be right back.
DCOM Descendants. What did you do just now?
A lot of.
You just said.
I know.
did you
I was
know
running out of time.
That this.
I was
is
running
we'll
out
be
of
right
time.
back.
I was
Oh.
running out of the music was
Music
playing.
I got
had
you.
to go.
Got it.
We have our headphones in. We know.
Yeah, no. I produced it.
A lot of shows do that now. They take a break about 4 minutes in instead of doing a pre-roll because
Yeah.
pre-rolls people just skip.
People
And
skip them.
So this was an easier way. We're trendsetters.
We could do a little stinger.
We're
Like,
trendsetters.
We could play
Yeah.
the funniest part of the episode if there is one at the beginning, and then do a theme song and a.
I think we're
break.
too late at this point.
Okay. All right.
It's too late. We're too
Too
late. We're already 20 something deep. Let's talk motocross, shall we? Based on 12th Night by Shakespeare. Maybe you've heard of it.
Yeah,
Or
there's been a few plays.
Billy
in
Shakes.
movies
Yeah. She's
since
the
that
man.
one. Yep. Just
it
those two. That's it.
originally aired.
Just a motocross. She's the
That's
man.
exactly right. February
it.
16th, 2001 is when this aired. 2 days after Valentine's Day in 2001. Maybe you had a date. Maybe you wish you had a date.
Maybe you were 10 and you stayed home.
Yeah.
What day was it again?
February 16th.
Ah.
Where were you?
2001?
Yeah. Did you
Dude.
go on a date?
On February 14th, 2001, my wife and I hung out at a concert, not technically as a date, but both of us were there and we're like, oh, hey, it's you. We hung out all night and we went on a date March 3rd. So I actually was kind of on a date.
What was the show? What was the
It
concept?
was Reliant K Supertons. And Switchfoot. And Switchfoot opening.
So you
by
knew
the
in that
way.
moment you
Yeah.
were marrying.
That
that's
is
right.
a
Yeah, it was True Love.
great show.
Yeah. Switchfoot was the first band of those three at that
That's
point.
exactly right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then like 10 years later, I saw Switchfoot and Reliant K, but Reliant K was the opener.
Yeah, of course. That checks.
Beautiful Letdown come out that year or a couple years later?
01, I don't. I
it
feel
was
like
around that time.
I feel like we were still in like learning to breathe
We
territory.
it just had an anniversary. Was it
yeah,
20?
yeah.
Was it to come out in 2002?
Yeah, it's probably 03 would be my guess. Yeah. Yeah,
it
03.
wasn't out
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, 03. Let us.
Yeah, learning to breathe is what they were touring. I was right.
Yeah. Directed by Steve Boyum.
Steve, what?
Boyum. Boyum. Boyum.
Boyum.
Boyum.
Boyum.
Do it with us.
One more time.
Boyum.
You can't.
Also the director.
Not silly enough, Aaron.
Also director of Johnny Tsunami. Also director of Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. Also director of Stepsister from Planet Weird.
Time out. He directed Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire and Johnny Tsunami.
Yeah, and
And
Stepsister
Stepsister
from
from
Well, I
Planet
didn't
Weird.
count. I was acting like I didn't hear that one on purpose. Wow, this guy, Boyum indeed.
Also, fun fact, he directed Motocrossed and in 2005 directed a movie called Supercross.
Is that the sequel?
No, it's a different movie. It
Supercross, not a sequel to Motocross.
Supercross looks smuttier. Doesn't it look smuttier? Doesn't it look like a smuttier Motocrossed?
It's like if you
You're
took
having a
Fast
lot
and
of fun
Furious
saying
and mixed
smuttier.
it with motocross.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's what the cover looks like.
Cool. Thank you.
So that's Steve Boym, starring Elena Austin, Mary Margaret Humes, Trevor O'Brien, and the love of Aaron's life, Riley Smith.
That's right.
Shall we dive into the movie, everybody?
Let's do it.
The rock music's blaring. Now, fun fact: you watch on Disney Plus, it's just like rock music. Originally, what did I say it was? The Fastball.
Yeah. You're an ocean.
You're an Ocean is how the movie was originally started, but on Disney Plus, it's just the rock
Yeah,
music.
there has been a lot of that I've noticed recently, unrelated to DCOM Descendants. A clip has been shared with me from friends who I don't think listen to this podcast. A, what's wrong with you?
B.
But it's from B.
Hey, what's wrong with you? And now I'll continue.
B, also, what's wrong with you? Do you not love me?
That's right.
But it's from The Other Me. It's the scene where he takes a bite of pizza and just starts dancing.
It's got to be Scott.
And
Of course.
it's not a song that is, because I think when we watched it was in sync. It's not a song I've ever heard of.
What?
And I can't tell if it's just edited for social media or if like In Sync is not the original song. And I should have looked into it.
That seems like NSYNC would get replaced, not that NSYNC would be the replacer.
I know. The song that like was playing, everyone was like, oh man, I remember this so much. But I was listening to the lyrics and I was like, I don't think Disney would play this song.
Yeah.
So I can't tell, but it's, yeah, the music.
Is it
streaming,
smut? Is it straight smut?
It's not.
Schmutty?
The smut
Is it
count is off the
schmutty?
charts.
But another fun podcast is Fake Doctors, Real Friends, and that's where I really learned about the streaming of music.
Yeah.
Because they really wanted you to like buy the DVDs, because if you watch them on Hulu or whatnot, all the music
I have some
is
Scrubs
different.
DVDs laying around.
The first
Why
few
is
seasons,
it better, easier to get rights for DVDs versus
because
streaming?
back
They
when
got paid.
Back when they made the contracts, streaming wasn't a thing, and so now in retrospect, like trying to get the rights to the music for this new platform, they can't always do it, and so they'll replace it with something else. So if you get the DVDs, then you have
all the originals.
the way that the scene was directed and made
And
to
edited,
sound.
yes.
Yeah.
And mixed. The whole thing.
So
Physical media, everybody.
So
now
what
I'm
we're
just not
trying
sure
to
when
say.
I'm watching Disney Plus, if it's
I assume that the song is wrong every time we watch this.
What we're trying to say is that Fastball's not the song.
Yeah.
It's just
So-
generic
No,
rock
we
music.
didn't
We're
pick
still in
this-
that intro, huh? Wow.
Oh,
We
The
are-
bikes are riding. The bikes are going fast. There are boys riding those bikes. The girls, they're cheerleading. And they keep cutting back and forth between the bikes and the cheerleaders. One sport boys, other sport girls.
Both of them sports.
Both of them sports. Andrew rides dirt bikes. His sister Andrea is a cheerleader, but they love each other because when she comes home with a cheerleading trophy, he's like, "Wow, this is freaking awesome!" Skits his bike, crashes. He's pumped.
So excited.
He is.
He's
Yeah.
pumped, and that's what you. A lot of times you see the siblings and they're arguing and they're mean to each other. Not in
here.
motocross.
No.
Motocross. These kids,
Dude, the siblings all love each other.
The motocross
sure.
is really the sport that just brings families together.
it really is.
Said it for years.
If you don't have a dirt path in your front yard, what do you even
A
do?
dirt path in your front yard.
They have
That's
they
right.
have a motocross track around
In their front
around
yard,
property.
into their
It's mainly in the side yard and around back. It's not the front yard.
No, it
proper.
cuts right by the front stairs.
It
It does.
literally.
Literally, their primary front yard is not just a dirt track.
I think you should take that to the tape, sir.
I think we should.
But they're excited because their parents are going to be gone for the day, which means
They're
one
going
thing:
into the city.
the city. Andrea and Andrew can race each other. Now, you might be wondering, why is this a big deal? I'm sure they get to race each other all the time. No. Because Andrea, although she loves motocross,
She's a girl.
She's a girl, and
Yeah.
she is not allowed to ride motocross. No, not anymore. And so they hop on their bicycles, as I call them, and they get into a race. They're talking.
Stop it. No,
It's
no.
basically an e-bike.
Yeah. No. You can't.
Honestly, if you think about it.
Don't do
So, because you got to do the thing, you got
Stop
to
pedaling.
you have to pedal.
It's not pedaling.
Okay, show me
it. So
what
much
you.
more skill required to do what they're doing than you on your e-bike smoking a cigarette as you ride uphill.
All right, what am I doing with my leg? Are you ready?
You're switching gears.
Okay, what am I doing with my leg?
Raising it up in the air.
No, I was pedaling.
No, you weren't. That's not how you pedal.
That's not
Yeah.
how you pedal.
If that's how you pedal, okay,
That's not pedaling.
No, I do one.
You don't know.
I do one, and
This
then I
guy
just kind of
with his
glide for a
e-bike.
while.
Okay, if that's how you pedal, I understand why you sold the e-bike
Yeah.
because that's not pedaling.
You guys are being really.
Well, you don't
mean.
have to pedal, so
You guys
that's
are
the
being
good
really
news.
mean tonight. You guys are being really mean
Tonight.
How long have we been?
What time is it? So the music is fastball, but it isn't fastball, and you need to know that up front.
So
Roll credits.
they get in a
DCOM
race. They start
descendant.
talking a little trash. He crashes. He hurts his leg. Now this is a big deal because there's a big
They need a sponsorship.
a
from the
sponsor.
factory.
Yeah, a factory sponsorship is up for grabs, and it's coming up fast. It's coming up quick.
Their entire family's finances depend upon them securing this sponsorship.
Yeah, Dad quit his job to devote time to training Andrew.
And he's bet it all on black. And by black, I mean teenage motocross.
Dan, you say it's like it's
Yeah.
crazy, but this is a thing that happens. There's, when your kid is really good at something and they're like 17,
Yeah,
you can decide, hey, I'm going to sacrifice my job and I'm going to try to help you be able to do it all the
people that
time.
do that, like they hedge their bets. They don't, the idea that this dude is like entrusting the well-being of the 5 people in his family to a teenager on a motorbike is crazy.
And something I'm just thinking about now is, wouldn't you wait to quit your job until
Yes.
your son has like won some races?
It's clearly not a full-time
Because-
gig yet.
The first race, they're like newcomer.
That's
and
right.
It's like he has
Yeah.
never raced before.
He's never raced before, and they're doing this.
So I would just like to know.
No, this dad is derelict at best. At best.
I
going,
love
Grant.
it.
You're doing a great
I love
job.
it personally. So, Dad, the next day is like, hey, I got to go to Europe. And you might be wondering, why does he have to go to Europe? And it is because all of the American riders are already spoken for.
They're all taken.
And so I have to go to Europe to try to get a replacement rider for the sake of the team.
Quick pop over to Europe for a week. 10
That's
days
easy.
max.
That's all it is.
You know
but
how 125 motocross racing is real popular
Big
in the
deal.
south of France.
But the big news
They're not
comes
like
after
Formula One
Dad already leaves. Dad leaves. A letter comes in the mail. The first race has apparently been moved up or something.
It's been moved up 2 weeks.
2 weeks. And if you don't qualify, you're out. You got to qualify. You got to do
Well, it's
the
not even
good stuff.
qualifying. You have to be in the first race
Right.
to complete the circuit.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a rule that they have, and it's a normal thing where
Yeah.
you have to be. You can't do the whole circuit if you're not in the first one.
Yeah. So believe it or
Which,
not,
I mean,
you have
makes
to start it.
sense. Like, do you just show up at the last race and win that?
Yeah. You got to
then what's-
start if you want to finish. That's what they're trying to
What's
say.
the point
So she
of
goes
racing all
out.
season? If I can just show up at the end.
But
That's
it's
true.
for a sponsorship. They get to choose regardless. It doesn't matter who wins. That like she only wins once. Spoiler alert. And they still choose her. The factory.
She wins more than once.
Oh no, you're right. She does win more than once. But you could still
it-
accumulate enough points
yeah.
to win without racing in week 1.
That's true. But
So
you have to be in. But now the
you
rules
have
have
to be
changed.
a week one.
You have to be in week 1. So if you're
Right.
injured, and we'll be back by week 2, out of luck.
So Andy, if you will, has an idea.
Gosh, Andy, that's like a nickname for Andrew as well.
Yeah,
Sure is. What if I give it a go? So she gets out there. She starts riding around the track. She finds some dudes out there in the middle of the woods.
That's right.
They've got their gear.
They got their gear on.
They go for, and they're like, she's a chick. She's crazy.
Motocross.
And
Let's bully her.
yeah, let's bully her. They do bully her.
She doesn't belong.
And it doesn't go well. She does not. I think they like force her off the track or something like that.
Yeah.
And her brother is
They
like,
want her to know that she doesn't belong here.
her brother's like, listen, you're good, but they're never gonna like
Accept you.
accept you because of the fact that you're a girl. And so she's like, well,
Bet.
then watch me.
All right,
I'm
bet
gonna.
is what
I'm
she says
gonna-
exactly.
I'm gonna. She's the man-it, and I'm going to act like my brother.
Chops
Well,
all her hair off.
she
Talks like the
does
Californians
one more.
SNL sketch.
Yeah, she does one more than Amanda Bynes, and she's the man. Amanda just wears a wig.
That's true.
all
She actually
shit.
cuts
Goes
her hair.
Andrea goes all in and cuts
That's
her
right.
hair.
Right, which you would think would be problematic at the end of this movie, but it's not. So cuts her
love it.
hair, and she goes
I mean,
in.
she looks great.
Love is love.
Absolutely. She walks into Danny Bottles' spot.
Johnny
Jimmy.
Bottles.
Jimmy.
Come
Jimmy
on.
Bottles.
You got so indignant. about him being wrong to come in hot with another wrong name.
Is it Jimmy Bottles?
It is Jimmy.
It is
Bottles.
Jimmy because it's not Jimmy Bottles.
It's not Johnny
Jimmy,
Bottles,
yeah, I got
which
it.
is a different character altogether.
So Jimmy,
He's doing great now.
he is doing
Just
great.
ask.
Do yourself a favor and Google Jimmy Bottles.
Yeah, it's like
Well, you may need
AJ
to get more
something or other.
specific than that, but yes.
Nope.
You don't? All right, great.
It'll pop right
if
up.
you Google Johnny, or what did you say over there?
Danny,
Brandon?
I said Danny.
Danny
Danny's
Johnny.
adopted. Sorry. So hair cut, dresses up like her brother, and goes into Jimmy Bottles' motocross store to get some boots.
And there we get
She
a
thinks,
full
hey,
hijinks.
if I just have better boots, then I will be able to compete against the boys.
Boots
That's
are
why she
made
goes
for
into
riding. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, her brother and the rest of the family
They're for
show up at that
parts.
same store to get some parts. So she's in there first. She sees them coming in, goes, hides. Andrew comes up.
hijinks ensue.
Hijinks ensue. So it's a lot of like, Jimmy Bottles is having a tough time.
That's right.
Jimmy
Johnny,
Bottles
Jimmy.
is like, you weren't wearing crutches a minute ago. What are you doing now? Where'd your crutches go? That whole thing back and forth, back and forth. Finally, the brother, both the brothers find out what's going on. They find her, and she's like, don't tell mom about this. And that lasts 5 seconds. Once they get home, the youngest kid spills the beans about what's going on.
Well, Andrea has a really gnarly, looks like a burn almost, like
Yeah.
on her hand, and she's like, "Oh, you know me, I tripped." And her mom goes and talks to Jason, and by talks, she just looks at Jason, and Jason's like, "All right."
Man, been there. And so he spills the beans. She goes and tells Andy, hey, you can't ride. Girls don't ride. And it's at this point that the youngest, whose name is Jason, is like, hey, mom,
The best scene.
let me speak some wisdom to you. And he basically
does.
mansplains to his mom
Feminism.
That's right.
which is great.
Yeah.
What she should have learned years ago.
Yeah. No, it's a great scene.
It is a great
Because
scene.
I did bring it up when we were watching the movie. Like the mom does a great job acting in this scene, I think, where I got the impression that she didn't believe what she was saying, but she was just like, well, I've just, your dad has always said, like, girls can't
Default
compete.
setting.
Like,
Yeah.
right. Like, she's just repeating, this is what I've been told my whole life. And Jason just comes in with some sweet wisdom. Did you write any of that wisdom down?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, he was like, we were learning about how women can do anything.
That's right.
And so, like, why can't Andy ride? Like, she's just as good as them. And the mom's like, I've never thought about it.
I wasn't
think of it,
allowed.
Jason has 2 scenes in this movie where he sets a parent straight in each of them, and it's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason's the one. So she goes and she tells Andy that she can race, but only this one race,
Just
the
this is it.
qualifying race.
That's right.
Just keep Carson racing in for the cup.
That's exactly right. So they go and they get there, and Andy is confident, but maybe misplaced because she struggles. It's tough. She comes in last place. And she does a little bit better in the next race until somebody bumps her out once again. And so she's real bummed. Now, obviously, at this time, she's trying to act like her brother. So everybody believes that she is Andrew. Goes by Andy.
Yeah, no one questions this.
Yes. But there are, a couple of close calls. She's got her nails painted, and someone's like, what's going on there? And she's like, it helps with the aftershock or whatever.
Classic.
And everyone's just kind of like, all right, whatever. Now, she is also, very good with the ladies. And that is very impressive to all the guys. All the guys are like, this newbie comes in here and
All the
isn't
chicks
good,
are
is getting lapped,
flocking
and
near
all the
her
chicks.
wig.
Yeah.
The mom is doing her nails at the campsite, and all the girls are like, oh my gosh, me too. And I believe that those girls are trophy girls.
Yeah, trophy
No.
girls.
I think so.
Because
The mom keeps saying she was a trophy girl, and
they were all wearing the same shirt, so they weren't
Yeah.
for like different racing companies.
Yeah.
And so then, of course, but then Andy is just hanging out with the girls because nail polish and
Yeah.
That's right.
You know what? That's all we girls
That's right.
talk about.
Nails,
That's exactly
and she
right.
needs shoes, so shoes and nails.
Yeah, shoes
That's
and
what I
nails
heard.
mall in sync.
Yes.
Now,
Mount Rushmore there.
Dean Talon.
Shoes, nails, malls in sync. I don't know what you want.
I
from
don't
this
know. that's all. That just is what makes
That's
up a woman in
That's
the
right.
2000s.
Dean Talon, he is
Talon?
He's
Dean
the best.
Talon?
He's the best
Dean
racer.
Talon and
He's the best racer, but bet like a one step up, 250,
He's the
whatever,
250
rider,
Yeah.
but he's the best. And they end up talking a little bit
Would you run a weight
because
class?
I think it's the length of track.
Okay, great.
I know this because of Mario Kart.
Okay, great.
yeah, great. And so say no more. The
Okay, because I was trying to figure out if it was like wrestling where it's a weight class, and I was like, they want me to think he's too.
Actually, in Mario Kart, it's 100, 150, 200, and it's degree of difficulty. So it is.
I think it is a type of motor in the bike. I think it is about the type of bike that it is.
It is. Yeah, it's a type of bike. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all thought I wasn't
125
right.
is more for.
Guys, we're all learning.
Y'all thought
right.
I wasn't going to get that right. The reason why I know that is because I've done extensive
E-biking?
moped research, which also has CCs. So
CC's Pizza?
CC's Pizza,
Pizzini?
CC Pizzini, yes.
was doing that
CC's
again.
little tiny CC
I don't know, they have the
Pizzinis
Oreo thing
are
then.
inside the mopeds. So they talk and they strike a deal. Dean really likes this girl, Talon, Taryn, and Farron.
Did you watch the movie? What the hell?
No, I wrote it. Sorry.
Talon, Taryn, Karen, Johnny, Danny.
Dan, would you have had her? Would you have gotten her name right?
Farron was so incredibly specific that I would have gotten that one. Yes.
Yeah, I wrote
Also,
that.
we watched this with subtitles. It said it.
Faryn. It was weird.
Yeah.
It said Farron of lunch.
So he's really into this girl, and
Last name balanced. Farron balanced. Oh boy,
Her last
we're
name-
having fun.
Her last name is Henderson.
Oh.
Her dad is part of Henderson Racing.
maybe you've
Middle
heard of
name
him.
balanced.
He's really into her. She doesn't really care about him at all, and he's like, "Hey, will you help me get a date with her? And if you do, I will help you with your training." And so they strike a deal. After Andy's mom agrees to let her stay a bit longer and keep on keeping on. So they go to the back roads, and everyone knows the back roads are where you really learn to race because he's got all sorts of different surfaces. And if you can get these different surfaces down, then when you get on the regular ones,
If you
then
can
it's
handle the
easy peasy.
unpredictable off-road, then the predictable course is a no-brainer.
That's right. And everybody knows
Everybody
that when
knows that.
you go riding around in the woods with your pals afterwards, you all go to the pond, you take your shirts off and you
You just
wrestle.
immediately
And
take
you
your
wrestle.
shirts
You wrestle. And that's what
what you
happens
do.
here.
And do you tell your friend, hey, we're going to go swimming? You do not.
No.
You just look at them and go, take your shirt off.
Yeah.
Take your shirt
a
off.
million times.
Take your
Growing up,
shirt off.
Just the bros. That's what we would do.
Take your shirt off.
We hugged it out a lot too when we were 16.
Could she have just jumped in with her shirt on? She could have. Instead, she tackles him into the water, and they get real close.
That's right.
And-
Like bros do.
Like bros. And Dean has no question.
I was in none. It's just how he rolls, man. Dean's going through some things. And he still is going through some things. And that's fine. He's got a lot on his mind.
A lot on his mind.
He looks great doing it. Good
He
job.
does.
Good
Look great
job,
doing
Gene.
Great. The next day, Andy goes to talk to her, and it becomes clear that she's not interested in this guy. And it's like, hey, bad news, bud. What you thought was true about her is true about her. She doesn't like you.
Yeah. She's just
And-
not that into you.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, taking one look at Farron, like, she and Dean are not a match.
I mean, it's pretty simple. Why not?
because he wants to, like, he's going to get dirty and, like, work on this bike and wear jeans and a t-shirt. And her number one thing was, I don't want someone who's into racing and wears the jeans and a t-shirt.
By looking, we know that.
I was just looking at her clothes. Her clothes probably cost more than his bike.
I guess. I mean, as soon as she said it, then yes, they weren't a match. But before then, it's like, all right, I don't know.
Also, when she looked at him and rolled her eyes.
That was true. Yeah, that would have been a
her
giveaway.
whole personality, the way she
Yeah.
looked, was like, she's just here
Fair.
because
Yes.
daddy's paying her to be here.
But even with the bad news,
Farron also doesn't look enough like a dude.
that's true. Now, even though she's just not that into him, he agrees to continue to train Andy. The training ends up paying off. Gets third in one race, and then
Gets seventh.
And this is a big deal. But the success does not last long because Dad shows
home.
up.
Yeah.
Dad shows up and he is mad. He makes them all pack up. We're going home.
So this, I need to. I know you're going to say he brings this dude from Europe over, but if he has quit his job and this is his full-time gig, he has to know that you have to be in the first race, right?
Well, I'm sure he knows now.
Yeah, the notice came after he left.
But when he finds that out, wouldn't he be less pissed? Like, he seems really angry for a group of people that saved his family's house, right?
I don't know if you've heard about the patriarchy.
Yeah, we get it. F the patriarchy through Chai Spice. I understand. But as soon as he hears, he's real angry. I can't believe you're out here. You blah, blah, blah. And
well,
then,
he's like begrudgingly grateful.
if somebody I didn't get that from him at all. I didn't get notes of questions of grateful at all. As soon as somebody sits him down and go, hey, look, Dad, they sent a notice. It was this or nothing. His frown should turn upside down, shouldn't it? Right?
Still didn't listen to Dad.
I'm just saying. Sorry.
Still didn't listen.
They didn't listen, but they saved the ranch.
But they didn't listen.
Saved it.
What's more important?
Dad stood right here and said, "Stay away from motorbikes."
Yeah,
he said it right when his kid was
He
hurt.
was wrong, and his kid got into good trouble. So good for her.
That's tough, man.
No, it didn't.
That's tough. I'm gonna tell your kids not to listen.
I will tell them.
Don't
Get
listen.
into good trouble.
Are we going to talk about the whole NSYNC bit?
I'm gonna
that?
tell them to. What's the? Oh, sure. You can talk
Well,
about.
I mean,
NSYNC
she comes up with a scheme to get.
She literally gives her NSYNC tickets away.
She gives them to Dean and Farron, and now they're a couple. So
That's right.
She held up her end of the bargain.
Shoes, mall, nails, NSYNC.
Yeah.
No NSYNC in this movie though. We don't hear it. We don't see them.
I know.
Nope. Tearing up my
talk
heart.
about it a lot. Anyways, they get home and this French driver shows up. And why is it not driving?
Why is he not French?
Yeah, true. Rene.
Yeah.
And he's the worst.
Did
Everybody
they,
hates
spin
him.
a wheel of French names? He's Rene Cartier.
Yeah.
Rene Cartier. And the kids all hate him, and for good reason. He's the worst. He's not kind. He treats the kids like garbage. And they also find out that he's been in trouble. He's been in trouble for pushing or pushing other riders off the track, which everyone knows is you don't do that.
You don't do it.
You don't do it. It's
Just
messed
an
up.
unwritten rule.
You're gonna hurt someone else. Dad doesn't care. Dad loves them.
Yeah.
Dad says, this guy,
He's a winner.
He's aggressive. We need an aggressive rider right now. So it is now time for race time. It's big.
Well, they practice on the bike. He gets mad. He messes up the top end of the bike. They get mad. They fix it.
He rides too hard.
Yeah. It's clear he's a bad fit. They find a news article saying he's a terrible person. You did cover that. Now it's time to race.
He's pissed the whole family off.
Yeah. He's mad. He's in the trailer or the other, whatever.
He took Andy's bedroom.
Yeah.
So at the event itself, Andrea sees him talking with the competitor, Henderson.
That's right.
And she immediately is like, he's up to no good, and confronts him about that.
So I just realized that, was it Hendricks or Hendrickson NASCAR?
Oh.
They started poaching racers right around the early 2000s.
Wow.
With Jeff Gordon,
How about
his
that?
team, I think it's Hendricks Motor Speed, whatever, and they started doing that. So maybe that was a nod there.
Maybe.
Sorry, back to you, Ray.
So she confronts him about that. They get into a bit of a squabble. Dad's like, hey.
Dean had given her a tour of the Henderson truck.
Right.
And Henderson got pissed.
Yes.
So he was like, oh, Henderson was just giving me a tour.
Yeah.
And she was
Henderson-
like, I know
That's
for
a
a
lie.
fact he
That's
doesn't
a
give
lie.
tours.
That's a lie. He does not do tours.
And he says, well, you're just a girl. Why don't you get back in the kitchen and wash some dishes?
Ooh.
It's messed up.
He doesn't say that right there, but he does say that in the movie.
Yes. And so Dad is like, hey,
I need some chai spice. You know what I mean?
Andrea, you need to go apologize to him. You were so accusatory. No place here.
Which is probably the moment I got most angry in this movie.
And so she goes off.
I straight up punched Dan. He was just the closest.
That's right. I didn't do anything.
He didn't, and I apologize for that. Just a lot of anger.
Just
in
was standing in for all men there.
As she
but it's
leaves,
not all men.
as she leaves to go and talk to him, Dad's
Not all
having a little bit of a situation. Dad's all grumpy. All the kids are mad. And then we go back over and we see they're arguing again. This time he pushes her.
Yeah,
that's right.
She's just trying to apologize.
And that's the final.
And that's
straw.
it. Dad finally comes to his senses. Oh, we did we miss when is it the kid?
Yeah, you
Jason?
skipped that.
He calls his dad a hypocrite to his face by giving him some sage advice. It's wonderful. He's master of words beyond his years.
Jason is the unsung hero.
Yeah, and then the dad comes to his senses, fires the dude, and then basically he's like, "Hey, I was worried. I didn't want anybody to get injured. Like I got injured, but now you can race."
That's exactly
I was
right.
injured when I was racing, and I just always wanted a girl because I thought she'd never want this world.
What a thing to say to your daughter. I always wanted a daughter. That's what I wanted, and you made my dream come true. You know why? Because I knew she'd never ride a motorcycle.
I just
Love
knew you'd be safe, and I wouldn't have to worry about you getting hurt. But here you are. So now we're all in. We're gonna go race.
That's right.
Baby girl, let's go.
Baby girl.
Two eyes, full hearts. Can't lose.
But the family has heard that Renee was fired, so they have already packed everything up. And they're like, we're leaving. And the dad's like, why? We have a girl who can race. Did you guys not believe girls can race?
Yeah,
weird.
look at you guys, you misogynist.
But this is the
think
time
you
that
are.
Jason gets to show off his skills
Yes.
and quickly fixes the
Top
bike.
end replacement.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
that's
right,
right, yeah.
which is great.
Which is something we all understood.
Oh, for sure.
But he did it in a record time.
Yeah.
And good for Jason.
Broke the
Yes.
record.
Now, also, Andy and Dean, he has seen her as a girl.
As girl.
Yes.
And it's like-
with brother, so he
Yes.
still
And
thought brother was the guy I've been hanging out with.
Fooled the whole way.
And he's just like, whoa, your sister is hot.
Yeah. Also feel like I've met her before. Maybe we've wrestled.
Weird. In my
Do you ever
dreams.
get, that feeling when you see someone and you go, I think I've wrestled that person
She
before?
looks like a dude I've been dreaming about.
The thing is, like, I understand that when he goes over and he sees the twins together for the first time, they put a helmet on Andrew so he can't see that Andrew is definitely not Andrew. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
But Andy looks just like.
Yeah. I just
And he
the
just
fact-
stares at her and he's like,
good thing Dean Talon looks good because he dumb. He's not bright.
he is instantly attracted to Andrea.
Yeah. Yes.
He stares at her hard. Like, and it just doesn't click in his head.
Nope. Sure doesn't.
I mean, I guess her hair is a little longer than it was 2 weeks ago.
No, it's totally different.
But
And her voice is so
I mean,
different,
she
too.
was wearing jewelry and makeup.
Yeah.
So I guess that's
Whatever.
different.
Yes.
It's crazy that Dean hasn't caught on yet. He's got to get himself a clue.
Yeah, I would have done a whole.
Yeah. It would have taken most everyone.
Wait a second.
He's worse than Jimmy Bottles. Jimmy Bottles doesn't get it, but he's been like, he's being gaslit. This guy just doesn't get, like, it's
Doesn't
there.
get it.
You
He
just
doesn't
got
get it.
yeah.
While walking
Jimmy
to
has
the
his driving glasses, but he doesn't have his telling twins apart.
yeah.
That's
And
true.
that's
That's
tough.
what it is. Yeah.
While walking to the final race, they're talking to each other, and Dean is like, "Hey, can you get me a date with your sister?" Once she is now put the
she's
he's now
talking
back.
to her and doesn't know it.
yes,
Yeah.
y'all
Once
following
you put a
along.
helmet on, you can't tell.
Yeah,
And
You
she's
can't.
like, "Well, aren't you with Farron?" And Farron walks by with Renee. Who
Renee is
Yeah.
now with the Henderson.
Well, Renee injured the 125 racer for Henderson. So now he is
Wow.
the 125
There
racer
you
for
have it.
Henderson. And he gets Farron
That's tough.
in the deal, I guess.
It is time for race, and all of the racers now have painted their nails, so trendsetters.
Of course.
And
Just like us, we're also
the race is
trendsetters.
going on. There's a bit of a bump from Renee.
Yep.
Gets her off the track. She's able to
right back
recover.
on.
Yeah.
Begins to get back towards the beginning. We're to the final lap. They're going around. Mom holds up a sign, says, "Watch that final turn," which she does because at the final
tricky turn.
Renee is getting ready to try
Zoom
to push
right
her
off of
back
there.
off.
That's right.
Right.
She throws
goes-
on the brakes. He goes
goes
flying.
right out.
She is able to finish in first place, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But the ESPN guy, of course, goes to interview Renee first as loser,
Yes,
and
obviously.
says, "Renee, what's going on there?" And he basically is like,
Go
No,
ask,
somebody's cheating. I got beat by a girl.
"Yeah,
he goes, "Why don't you ask Andrew Carlson?" And they turn to Andrea, who's still in her gear. And Renee's like, "No, the real Andrew. who is
Andrew. who is supposed to be incognito.
A face in the crowd, but is standing in between Jason and the dad.
Right,
and he's
effing
like,
beside her.
I'm not a Carlson.
No, like with a backwards hat and sunglasses. What are you doing, Andy?
Like, maybe go stand anywhere else.
Right. So
stupid.
Obviously, it's now out in the open, and Dean's shocked.
Dean's got a lot going on.
He's like, you made me believe you were a boy, and he just walks away.
That's right.
Upset.
So confused.
And that's fine.
And so
We're here to
then,
talk, Dean.
That's right. Yeah, that's okay, Dean.
Henderson is like, she girl, and mom is like, there's nothing in the rule book about girls. What else you got?
And
not the right registered person.
She's unregistered, and it's like, no, she registered
Andy,
as Andy.
ANDI. They cover their bases here.
They do cover their bases. And so it's at this point that the CEO people come out. They're going to do the big
factory sponsorship.
And they're like, are you going to give this girl a factory sponsorship?
I mean, she won. Are you going to give it to her?
And yes, they do give it to her. It's a big moment and big woo-hoos.
You must be joking.
You must be joking. We would absolutely do it.
She lied and rose to the top of a men's sport. Do you think
it's a great speech?
Do you think we'd let her sign with anyone else?
Yeah.
Got him.
Got him. Just like that.
Sucker. So also we're signing the entire family, which was unnecessary. They didn't have to do that.
That guy did a top end change in record time. He's 9.
They
Let's
have
give
not
him whatever he needs.
The only
Andrew,
thing
we have not seen him race ever.
The only thing we know about Andrew is that he got injured riding, but I'm sure he's good.
I'm sure he's great.
I'm sure he's good.
Yeah.
So with that extra money, guess what? Big news. We are going to be able to hire a 250 rider for the next race.
He's applying for the job.
Should we put out like we're hiring?
They don't need to because they already got somebody, and he's waiting outside. Andrea,
Andrea,
why don't you go and
go
see who it is?
That's right.
It's Dino.
Yeah,
DCOM Dino.
DCOM Dino.
And Dean is
actually.
like, I've done the soul searching. I've been to therapy. I've worked it all out.
I'm not sure if I want to buy, but I'm at least bi-curious.
And I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm down to try.
That's right.
And they celebrate by going for a little race, a 12-lap race.
Freeze frame it.
She says 12. You have to audition, and he's like, but I'm a champion. Like I just won.
Yeah, come on.
Does that not matter? And she's like, 12 laps. If you beat me, you're hired. And he's like, all right.
Classic.
And they make some eyes at each other, and then they go.
Let's
race.
go
Freeze
wrestle.
frame it, and then it's done.
That's right. That was Motocross. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break down a little bit more. You're on DCOM Descendants.
Thanks, Aaron. Really great job there.
Woo!
Welcome back, everybody.
DCOM Descendants.
There it is. We'll put it together in post. Don't worry.
It's
it'll
time
be seamless.
for Overtime. It is where we share
for DCOM.
how this movie aged over time. I've got some Letterboxd reviews if you would like it. First is a review by Joe, which is 3 stars, that said she couldn't see NSYNC, so she became NSYNC. Remy says 3.5 stars. Disney stumbled their way into making the best trans movie I've ever seen. Future Trash says 5 stars.
So 5 stars.
Ahead of its time. A revelation. Jazz says 4 stars. The movie was too girl power, so it was like, we're going to make a generation of girls hate men. We have to give them the real enemy. The French. Alan Longstreet said 3 stars. Feminism was invented when Disney released Motocrossed. Exactly right. Tardo Savian says, okay, imagine Mulan, but like dirt bikes. It is time for us to share our thoughts on the movie and how it aged over time. Aaron, you and I have both seen this movie. Dan, this is your first time. For you, Aaron, how did this movie age over time for you?
This movie is amazing. I love this movie. I have always loved this movie. I own a handful of DCOMs.
But is it Color of Friendship good, though, Aaron? That's the thing.
I don't own Color of Friendship.
Okay. Is it Rip Girls good, at least?
No. See, here's the thing. I did a lot of soul searching and praying this weekend.
Yeah.
And I reminded myself that I do own a handful of DCOMs, and Color of Friendship and Rip Girls are not them.
Huh.
But this is one of them. And when I was an elementary school teacher, I would show DCOMs to my students, and I never showed them Rip Girls or Color of Friendship.
What? Get out of town.
I know, but I did show them this one. I love this one. the dad was way worse than I remembered. I always remembered the French guy being icky. But I loved being 10 years old and watching this movie and just being like, yeah, I could totally race dirt bikes. I couldn't. I don't want to. But 10-year-old me was like, I can do anything. Jason is right. Like, women can do anything. So yeah, it held up. Jason was even better than I remembered. He is just a star who has not really done anything. So justice for Jason, I guess. Jimmy Bottles is great. The mom, I love the girl team that they have going on there. Yeah, this movie held up. I love it. Would watch again and again and again.
You said it, pal. This movie rules. Girl power. I love it. It's an absolute classic, and I think it holds up pretty darn good. It gets a little slow here and maybe there, but overall.
What about there?
No, not over there.
Maybe.
Mainly here.
Mainly here.
Perhaps there. But that's it. Overall, really great time. Wish I could have seen it with the original soundtrack, the way that God intended. But overall, a fantastic time.
If it's different on the copy I own.
Oh, it is the DVD.
Yeah, the DVD should.
Well,
have
it's not DVD; it's a digital download. But I bought it 12 years ago.
Interesting.
I don't know. You let us know.
I'll go home and watch it.
Go home, you find it. I do agree though.
Some more Taylor Swift cookies.
The biggest takeaway here is that the dad is worse than you could imagine. He's worse than you could imagine, and that's some tough stuff there. But a really, really, really great movie. It's great to be back, Dano.
Yeah, this movie slaps. It's really good. It is a movie that is like Feminism 101 for 10-year-olds, and there isn't enough of that. It crushes it. It does little things really well, like juxtaposing how like the norm at the beginning of this movie is dudes ride motorbikes and girls cheerlead, and they do this throughout the movie with
watching the juxtaposition. Sure.
Yeah, with nails and where they do nails early in the movie versus later in the movie, with cheerleading versus where the mom sits. Little things in this movie go a great deal to painting a full picture of, yes, there is not a gendered sport. Girls can do anything that guys can do, especially athletically. Anything, yes, but athletically, it's absurd how we've trained men for hundreds of years to be athletes, and then we look and we go, well, girls aren't as good at it. Yeah, you give them the opportunity, you see what happens. They need more of this.
If you invest in their training in the same way you invest in male sports.
Yes, representation matters across the board.
The athlete is not inherently male.
Yes.
It can be male or female.
Correct. And Erin said it. She was 10 and thought she could do motorbikes. Mm-hmm. Can she? No, but that's not because she's a girl. It's because she doesn't want to.
It's because I'm 33 years old. I've never been on a motorbike, and I think if I were to join a race now, it would not go well.
Yeah, I couldn't motorbike
but if
either.
I had started at 10,
exactly. And this movie
maybe
does
I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Yes, it does it in a very entertaining package. The dad is the worst. My big problem with this movie wasn't that it was slow. It was the French guy. I thought it was too much. I thought it was unnecessary to bring anybody from Europe in. And it kind of brings the plot together, but you could have made this movie 10 minutes shorter without that guy in it. And that character does really hammer the point home about feminism, and I think that's why it's in there.
But then you wouldn't get this scene with Andy washing dishes and him saying, you finally found where you can be useful to your family.
And that's when the highlighter rips through the page right there. That's when the, like, you know what I mean? Like, that character is like, if you didn't know what this movie was about, may I present to you, French man? That is what this is. And this movie, I think, could have been a little leaner, a little meaner in the best way, and a little bit more efficient in really getting the point across in a little bit less time. That is my one critique of the movie. The rest of this movie I really think slaps. There's enough hijinks to make it fun. We did a take it to the tape of She's the Man. This is a better movie than She's the Man. I have no use for She's the Man. This is a better movie than She's the Man. Lead's great. The youngest kid, Jason, just steals the show. Fun time. Really, really solid. Really good stuff. Definitely making the top 10. Good stuff.
I have never thought about not having the French guy because I know that he's a main catalyst for like the conflict.
There's plenty of conflict.
But I've been like thinking about it as you're saying it, like you could cut him out and there is enough conflict with just the dad being like, you can't do this, pulling her out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we could just save.
That's my one thing.
Yeah.
My one thing.
But we all hate the French, and so it all, we all got to rally around that.
This is 2002, so we really hate the French.
2001. want to be clear.
Oh, they're in 01, but was it May? Oh, it was May 01. My bad. Yeah, 01. Okay, never mind. So we don't really hate the French as much yet.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we will.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah, we will.
Let's
It was ahead of its time.
let's get to making the list where we talk about where this movie is going to land in our top 10, if it does break that top 10. Aaron, I understand there's been a lot of shuffling around over on your top 10, so let's walk through that.
Okay,
Oh,
this
man.
may be the rest of the day here.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a tough weekend in Aaron's household.
In Aaron's household, in Aaron's abode.
In my abode.
That's right.
We had a lot of talks, just me, myself, and I, about this.
Bowden and stuff.
Yeah. So here's my top 10.
There we go.
All right. Let's hear it.
Number 10, Phantom of the Megaplex, which is jumping up.
Okay.
Because I really thought about it. Like, I do watch this movie year after year, and
It's more
I think,
fun to think about that movie than watch it. That is where it is in my top 10, and that's because thinking about that movie is
I
great.
love that
Watching
movie.
it, less great.
And yeah, watching it as with a critical eye, it's not great. But when you're thinking about what am I looking for in a DCOM and what's going to stand out to me, yeah, that movie hits all the boxes. So Phantom of the Megaplex. Number 9, Brink, as Ryan Popola so nicely pointed out on Deck the Hallmark last week. Number 9 is where I have Brink, so it's just going to stay there for a while.
I love it.
This
I love
seems
it.
like
I
now
love
it's
that
just
move. That's close to where it should be in reality. Like if you looked at this with just an objective eye, in between 5 and 10 is where Brink belongs. I honestly believe.
Number 8, The Other Me. 7, Quince. 6, Xenon. 5, Halloween Town. 4, Smart House. 3, Miracle in Lane 2. 2, Motocrossed. And 1, Johnny Tsunami.
Oh, we're about to have a new number 1.
Wow.
I don't know, but Johnny Tsunami is just a good person.
Johnny
Tsunami is
Tsunami.
the
There's
best.
so many good vibes in Johnny Tsunami. It's hard to overstate.
Like, I think as a movie, I like this movie more.
Everybody always does the right thing in Johnny
but
Tsunami.
Brendan Baker is just the best.
Yeah.
The best.
Like,
Yeah.
He's the best.
It's tough.
So,
It's tough.
yeah.
It is going to break my top.
What went out of your top 10?
Color of Friendship for sure.
Oh.
No. Why not?
And Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire.
Lost your mind.
So,
That's tough.
What?
Isn't it tough? I don't know. I don't get that. Yeah, I don't get that at all. But
because it's
not
a
for you, it's
good
not for you.
movie, but
It's not for you,
yeah,
it's not
I
for
just
you.
don't
That's
want.
fine.
I don't want to watch it
it's
again.
all good.
Number 10, Alley Cat Strike. Holding on strong, maybe for one more week. I have a feeling it's going to be gone next week. Number 9, Quince.
Alley Cat Strike. You don't be ashamed
Yeah,
of
you're mad at
yourself.
my list.
Hey, one more week. Let it live.
Let it be. Let it breathe.
Phantom of the Megaplex at 8. Halloween Town 7. 6. Miracle in Lane 2. 5. Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. 4. Premiering for the first time, Motocrossed. 3. Smart House. 2. Johnny Tsunami. And 1. The greatest
This is so
sports
stupid.
movie and the greatest
I don't
DCOM
even-
and the greatest movie of all time, Brink.
The idea, Brink is just LaCroix motocross is all it is. It is motocross without any of the ambiguity, ethical quandary, serious topic. It's just unbelievable. Brink
What's
is
the highest selling sparkling water?
Brink is I don't know, but Brink is the
Probably
worst.
LaCroix.
It's got to be. Brink is worse than motocross in every way, aside from maybe a couple of skating scenes. That's it. Performances worse, plot worse, characters worse. Everything about it's worse, Bran.
You might be right.
I am right.
Brink
It's
number 1,
ridiculous.
best movie of all time.
What got kicked out?
Genius.
Genius got kicked out. Genius got kicked out of my list too.
Tough day.
My
Tough day
list
for
too.
the Genius.
Number 10, The Other Me. Number 9, Smart House. Number 8, Quince. Number 7, Phantom of the Megaplex. 6, Brink. I think I'm maybe being a little bit generous because I do love you so much. I think Phantom of the Megaplex might move above it and Quince might too. But Brink right now at 6.
Quince cannot.
Dude, what's her name? Kimberly Baker
I know,
J.
she's
Brown?
great.
What's her name?
Kimberly J. Baker Brown. Yeah,
Okay.
There's no Baker.
There is my
Billy
one.
J. Brown.
Kimberly J. Brown is amazing in that movie.
She is amazing.
Brink 6. 5, Miracle in Lane 2. 4, Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. 3, Halloween Town. 2, Johnny Tsunami.
What? It cannot be so.
Number 1
It cannot
Motocross.
be so.
This is easily the best of these movies.
Wow.
I think it's better than Johnny Tsunami. And Johnny Tsunami is a vibe, and I think If you want good vibes and just everybody doing the right thing and being great and changing and being better and failing forward, Johnny Tsunami is the play. The turns in this movie happen a little fast. The motocross turns happen fast. The mom's turn happens fast. The dad's turn happens fast. Having said that, if I had a daughter, this is it. In fact, my kids probably going to show them this movie.
Yeah, but you do got sons.
Yeah.
Johnny Tsunami.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is a better movie. I think it's a better movie.
You have twins. Did it ever cross your mind to name them something similar so they could both have the same nickname?
My kids' names rhyme.
Like Andrew and Andrea, you could just say Andy and they both respond.
I think
Johnny Tsunami, it doesn't matter where you're from. You can skateboard, ski, or surf.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Come on.
Johnny Tsunami is a great movie. It is really good. I like Motocross more. I cared more about the characters. I think the performances after Johnny Tsunami's performance, I don't remember anyone's performance in that movie.
Jet Jackson.
Okay, yeah, still don't. Motocross, there are 5 really good performances in this movie, and Jason the Kid is 5th on the call sheet. He's amazing. This movie has more going for it, has richer characters, and probably a more timely message. It's
I
the
agree
best.
with all that.
Motocross won.
But yeah, I couldn't replace my top one. There was too much soul searching
too much
already.
going on. Yeah, you'd already forgotten about apartheid. There's nothing you could do there.
Next week, everybody, join us. We'll be doing our first show live in front of a studio audience.
Podcasts after 26 episodes get a live show.
Yeah.
But you know what?
We are.
Most podcasts.
We said
Magical Rewind, have they had one yet? I don't think so.
We said we've done 25. We're a hit.
Luck of the Irish in front of a live
Finally.
studio audience
so
with a special guest. We haven't had a guest reviewer yet.
not.
Is it Ryan Merriman?
Ryan Popola will be joining us.
The lesser Ryan, but
a lesser
only
Ryan,
you.
but
you call him
but
the lesser
higher in
Ryan.
my heart.
No, I love Ryan Papola.
You don't seem sure. You seem like you're trying to
I
convince
got
yourself.
to really debate this in my head. One of them I
Who
know.
would I be really excited to walk through that door right now? And I had to think about it, and it would be Ryan Papola. Like if Ryan Merriman walked in, I'd be like, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah, so it would be more
You'd be excited.
No, I'd be like, I don't know what to do here. But like Ryan, we could go hang out.
Yeah, okay.
We could like go watch the Power
whatever you have
Rangers.
to tell yourself.
Yeah, this sounds like you
Whatever you have to
are
tell yourself,
spinning
Aaron.
the yarn.
Yeah,
You're spinning the yarn.
Yeah.
But Ryan Papola is going to be joining us. And he's also bringing his top 10 qualifier being it has
That
to
we've
be the
covered so
same,
far.
same catalog of movies to pull from.
And if Ryan Merriman, if you're not doing anything next weekend and you
Come through that door.
or this weekend, I don't know what day we are on.
That today.
If you're not doing anything and you want to come to that Greenville, South Carolina, just let us know. You can join our panel.
Exactly right. Luck of the Irish next week. Anything else, folks? That's it. We did it.
That's it. We did it.
All right. Keep decomming. Be a descendant to somebody today.
DCOM Descendants is a Bramble Jam podcast produced by Brandon Gray. For more information on DCOM Descendants, you can go on the web to dcompodcast.com. You can follow us on the socials at DCOM Descendants. And to watch us watch these movies live, you can go to bramblejamplus.com.